Here we go. So here's our turret prefab we were talking about before the break. It has a base, a joint, and a cannon. Everything is aligned to Z forward so that we have a constant frame of reference for these calculations. Again, the reason why we want that is because we want to know that Z forward is forward so we can test when we're facing something. And we're also going to use the right to test whether the target is on the right or on the left. We dealt with right to test right or left. We test with forward to test front back. We test up to test top up. Okay, so there's our enemy. Let's move the enemy over here. And the enemy is going to try and aim at our ship. Okay. Great. Let's write some enemy logic. I'm going to attach it to the joint because it's the joint that rotates. It's the joint spacing we're going to test with, and it's the joint that's going to receive the result. But you could have the script attached to any other object and just have a reference to the transform. Okay. So we're going to call this aiming logic. New script called aiming logic, attached to the joint. Add component, new script, aiming logic. Why aiming logic? We'll use it for a lot of stuff. Okay. This script determines which way to turn so we can face the target. And we respond. Send message, fire the weapon, etc., etc. Okay. Great. What do we need for this? We are a turret. We are an enemy AI. We are facing a target. So one of the first things we need is reference to target. Okay. According to our algorithm, which is behind the whiteboard right now. Our algorithm is we run the enemy. Well, we go to the enemy. This is our target. This is our facing. We're going to need to compute that vector. So we need a reference to that game object. We're going to do some math, and we're going to make a decision. Okay. So we're going to need, and I'm going to make it public so we can see in the inspector what's happening. Vector 3, we're going to call this target. Call it 2. And I'm going to make a float. DP for dot form. Cool. In logic update. Step 1, compute V target. How do we compute that? What's the vector that goes from us to the target?
Target position.
That's right. Target obs. Transform. Target obs. V to target is that. We're also going to say we want this to be normalized, so we can call normalize which will normalize it in place. We don't have to assign. It has no output. The result will be that this vector is now a normalized version of itself. If it was shorter than 1, it'll now be 1. If it was greater, it will now be 1. What else do we need? We need to space them. I'm going to move this component onto the. I'm going to leave it here. Copy component and paste it on the root. Paste component is new. And then remove. No, I'm wrong. Never mind. Leave it on the joint. Sorry about that. I'm overthinking it. That component. Okay, put it back. What's our target going to be? The hero, right? So here is our ship. Right there. Our facing vector will be what? Is our transform forward. Right? Done. Compute the dot product of what's the vector we want to dot to determine if it's to the left or to the right? Be right. Be right. And 3 dot. So we have a function called dot. Yay, we don't have to write it. And it takes a left-hand side and a right-hand side and returns a float. So move forward and okay, cool. Let's do that and look at the sign and see if the sign actually flips when we want it to. So I'm getting 0.35. If I put it on the other side, I got 0.5. Now I get negative. What did I do wrong? I've got 0.35 for the dot product here, and I've got negative 0.35 for the dot product here. Does that make sense? I'm not using v right, I'm using v forward. So we want to transform dot right. Let's see. When the enemy is when the turret is to the right of the target, the dot is negative 0.9, okay? And when I'm on the other side, I've got a positive. Cool. And if I move this forward, I'm above it, I'm still positive. If I go over here, I'm still negative. So it doesn't matter what our coordinates are, it doesn't matter what our facing is. And that makes sense that that is negative because we're dotting with right and right is facing the other way. So if it's negative, we want to turn left. If it's positive, we want to turn right. So let's build that in. rot speed. And we're going to call this facing threshold to decide if we are facing enough to fire. And rot speed will be how fast we should turn. Great. Turn to face the target. I suppose a different AI could make a different decision. If we wanted avoidance behavior, we could turn to face not the target. If we wanted to turn away, so that we could run away as soon as we were facing the opposite direction, we could use this to drive some better decisions later on. But we want to aim to fire. So we want to rotate. There's 6 forms of this function. Which way do we want to rotate? Or which form do you want? We're not aiming up and down, right? We're just aiming left and right. This is purely a 2-dimensional one-axis. It's like a guardian in Zelda Breath of the Wild. Just kind of turns its laser left and right, and then boom. So we're going to rotate about vector 3 dot up. Careful if enemy is not facing upwards. And we're going to rotate about it by FTP times rot speed. Let's see if that works. See if rot speed comes back up. There we go. Let's say rot speed 1, facing push 1, and go. Hey, look, we faced our target. If our enemy goes over here, we rotate to face our target. If our enemy goes over here, we rotate to face our target. Pretty intuitive. If our ship goes over here, it really doesn't matter, right? It's the same calculation. It's position invariant. It has to do with the facing vectors and the angle between them. So they can be anywhere. Doesn't matter who's moving. The enemy will always face. Does that make sense? If you want to increase the speed, you could do that. Of course, we're not multiplying by time at delta time, so our product isn't very, that's a lot faster, but we probably want to multiply that by the actual number of milliseconds, just for framing purposes. Right, that's our delta time. We'll make that a 10. Cool, are we done? Is this a good turret? Is this a good enemy facing logic? Does it do everything we need it to do? What do you notice about the turret? It is aiming, isn't it? It's right smack dab in the angle. Yeah. It's going to shoot right along that. But what do you notice about the, let's say we increase the rot speed to 100. And then move the turret. What do you notice? Do you see it? No? Make it 1,000. Do you see it? Well, we're always rotating to face the target at a certain speed, but we're never actually stopping. So we're always going to be offshooting a little bit. What do we want to do when we're actually facing? We want to stop turning, we want to fire. So let's add that firing logic. Fire if we are facing the target, which means fire if the dot product of forward and speed to target is what? Greater than a threshold. What would the dot product be if they are exactly 100% facing? It'll be 1. So we'll give it a little bit of a threshold, like 0.99, 0.95, 0.97, so that you can start aiming when it's basically close enough, right? Give a little bit of leeway. Gonna make that facing to 0.9. Well, I'm gonna make it 0.7 to start. And we will say we'll need a different dot product for that. Fire dot product. Fire angle. Fire angle is equal to vector3 dot dot. What vector? It's just a transform dot forward and target. If fire angle greater than fire, what was it? Dash. Using dash. Fire weapon. Do we have a weapon yet? When we wrote that gun code last week for our ship, could we reuse that? Luckily, we wrote the firing logic in a different component to the moving logic, right? Remember we had ship move, we had movement and we had aiming, so that was lucky for us. Maybe we could take that firing thing and attach it to our enemy, and maybe you could actually shoot. Let's see. So we're going to the cannon. I'm actually going to attach a tiny little game object right at the very end. I'm going to call this the spawn lock, the spawn locator. Why is that a sphere? What is that? Okay. This is my cannon. Good. I create a tiny little sphere. And make it a child of my cannon. Call this one spawn locator. It doesn't need a collider. We don't want it just to collide with anything. Disable the mesh renderer, and we'll move it to 0, 0, 0. Okay. And I'm going to slide it forward. Like right there. Right? So if I rotate my cannon, my spawn locator also moves with it. Now in here, let's add that, what's it called? Firing? Spawn logic? That's what we called it. And it shoots a what? Some kind of projectile? What do we call that? What does our ship shoot? Nerf bullet. So maybe this thing could shoot Nerf bullets too. Let's give it a Nerf bullet. Where's my Nerf bullet? There it is. Great. We fire on a key press. So we're gonna have to go back to our spawn logic and make a quick little change. Alright. You just wanted to instantiate. I'm gonna comment that out. And spawn's gonna do that. Okay. So instead of directly calling instantiate, we're gonna call spawn and key press. But we want to be able to spawn things when we're facing. So we're not gonna fake a key press, we're gonna call that method. But how do we call that? Well, first let's see if this actually works. Let's do debug.log. Fire. Facing close enough, fire. Is it close enough? Let's see. It's not shooting our message. Why not? What did we do wrong? Let's attach. There we go. So fire angle is 0.99. Facing thresh is 0.7. 0.99 is greater than 0.7. So it should say facing close enough fire. So I expect it to say fire. I expect it to be spamming. There we go. Yeah, that's spamming. So it's done like 2,000 of it. Okay? If we move our turret over here, it stops spamming. Now start it up again. So we've detected the event. We want to actually do the work. We could get component spawn logic, and then we could go spawn logic.spawn. And that's probably appropriate. Or we could do it in a way that looks like that UI thing you did. So I'm going to take a break in the video and then show you both answers.